Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Golden Bachelorette's Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple's holiday plans could cause a breakdown in their relationship. They can't agree on anything. The Golden Bachelorette Season 1's winning couple Chock Chapple and Joan Vassos had some major holiday plans, but their differing opinions could cause a breakdown in their relationship. Throughout the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, Joan was having a hard time figuring out what she wanted. While the series was happy to have her as the lead after her brief but memorable appearance on The Golden Bachelor, Joan was somewhat indecisive as she moved through her time on the series. After being married for over 30 years, Joan was struggling to find her footing in so many new relationships on screen. Joan's time as the Golden Bachelorette did yield a connection with Chock, who she felt a spark with from early on in the season. While Joan was still getting to know the other guys on the show, it was clear to Bachelor Nation that she was interested in Chock from the beginning. Though they didn't always see the charm in him, Chock came off as a much more isolated person than Joan, and Bachelor Nation wasn't happy to see them engaged during the finale. Despite their disappointment, Bachelor Nation has followed along to see Joan and Chock's post-Golden Bachelorette journey. While the Golden Bachelorette finale was just over a month ago, Joan and Chock have spent the majority of their time together throughout the season and after its end. Once they were able to open up to the public about their relationship, the couple felt better about the criticism and backlash they've been facing. The Golden Bachelorette wasn't easy for the pair to watch back, but they seemed to enjoy the aftermath of the season once they could be together without hiding. Though they've been together for weeks of the postseason, Joan and Chock have struggled when they have to be long distance. Happier when they're together, the pair have been working through their issues as they've encountered them, but when they're apart, it's harder to communicate. While Joan and Chock have been ever-present online, in their day-to-day when they're dealing with long distance, it can be difficult for them to find common ground. As Joan and Chock got closer to the holiday season, they quieted down online and stopped posting as much. While some Bachelor Nation viewers were concerned it was because of communication issues, Joan and Chock revealed that for the 2 weeks leading up to the Christmas holiday, they were apart. Sharing it was the longest they've been apart in the past. The couple seemed to have struggled with figuring out their plans and making things smooth for their large, newly blended family. Joan's holiday plans with Chock were purposefully kept quiet. Although Joan and Chock appear to have a nice holiday together, the couple is having a difficult time figuring out what's next. After the Golden Bachelorette finale, they revealed that they plan to go back and forth between her home in Maryland and his home in Kansas before settling down in New York City in the future. But Joan's ties to her grandchildren and Chock's ties to his business could be too deep to overcome. The couple may be facing issues that Bachelor Nation doesn't know about, which could wind up taking a toll on the Golden Bachelorette relationship. As the holiday season approached, Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple, the fan-favorite couple from the Golden Bachelorette, found themselves swept into a whirlwind of anticipation, but not the kind they had hoped for. Their budding romance, forged under the glimmer of rose ceremonies and romantic getaways, was now facing its first real test, holiday plans. And let's just say, things were not going smoothly. The Great Divide, city versus countryside. Joan, ever the cosmopolitan spirit, envisioned a sophisticated holiday in New York City. She dreamed of strolling through Rockefeller Center hand in hand with Chock, marveling at the giant Christmas tree, and sipping on hot cocoa as snowflakes danced around them. Her itinerary included stops at the Met's Christmas exhibit, a Broadway show, and an elegant New Year's Eve gala at the Plaza Hotel. Chock, on the other hand, had a very different idea of holiday magic. The retired outdoorsman longed for a quiet Christmas at his rustic cabin in Montana. He pictured cozy nights by the fire, a snowshoeing adventure through the wilderness, and a hearty Christmas dinner featuring his famous smoked venison. When the two sat down to discuss their plans, the conversation quickly escalated into a clash of lifestyles. Chock, do you even own a tuxedo? Joan asked, half joking but fully exasperated. Nope, and I don't plan to, Chock replied with a grin. But I've got a mean flannel shirt that'll keep me warm while we're chopping firewood. Joan's eyes widened. Chopping firewood? That's your idea of holiday fun? Chock shrugged. It's practical. Plus, it's a workout. You'll love it. Oh, I highly doubt that, Joan muttered. Family matters. A recipe for conflict. Complicating the issue were their families, who also had strong opinions about where the couple should spend the holidays. Joan's daughter, Sophia, was vocal about wanting her mother to stay close to home in Chicago. Mom, you've been jet-setting with Chock for months. It's time to prioritize family, Sophia insisted during a phone call. Meanwhile, Chock's son, Kyle, was equally adamant. Dad, the cabin has been a family tradition for years. Don't let some fancy city plans mess that up, he said during their weekly chat. Caught in the crossfire, Joan and Chock began to feel the strain. What started as a simple disagreement was now snowballing into a full-blown crisis, with neither willing to compromise. The compromise that wasn't? After days of bickering, they attempted to find middle ground. Joan proposed spending Christmas in Montana and New Year's in New York. It seemed like a fair deal until they started hashing out the logistics. So we'd fly out of Montana on Christmas night. That's crazy, Chock argued. Why is it crazy? Joan shot back. It's called multitasking. It's called exhausting, Chock countered. Joan sighed. You're not even trying, Chock. And you're trying too hard, he replied. The plan was scrapped within an hour. Friends step in. Their friends from the Golden Bachelorette cast soon caught wind of the drama. Ever the peacemaker, Nancy Hulkower invited them to her home in Colorado for a neutral ground celebration. I'll handle everything, Nancy promised over a group video call. No pressure, no decisions. Just show up and enjoy. While Joan appreciated the gesture, she couldn't help but feel disappointed. As sweet as that sounds, it's not what I had in mind for our first holiday together, she confessed. Chock nodded in agreement. We've got to figure this out on our own. Thanks though, Nancy. A Christmas miracle. With December rapidly approaching, the couple's friends and family began to worry that their relationship might not survive the holidays. That's when Joan and Chock's mutual friend, Vagansard, stepped in with a bold idea. Why don't you two create a new tradition together? He suggested. Something that's just yours, not tied to either of your pasts. The idea struck a chord, but executing it was easier said than done. After days of brainstorming, they finally landed on something they both loved, a road trip. We'll drive through the Rockies, stop at small towns, and celebrate in our own way, Joan said, her eyes lighting up. And we'll still get to see family after the new year, Chock added. The journey begins. The road trip turned out to be exactly what they needed. They started in Denver, where they picked out ornaments from a local craft fair to decorate a small, portable Christmas tree they had bought together. As they traveled through snowy mountain passes and quaint villages, they created memories that were uniquely their own. One particularly magical night was spent in a tiny bed and breakfast in Aspen. The innkeeper surprised them with a private sleigh ride, complete with blankets and hot toddies. This is the kind of holiday magic I was talking about, Joan said, snuggling into Chock's side. Chock grinned. I'll admit, this beats chopping firewood. A lesson in compromise. By the time they returned home, Joan and Chock had learned an important lesson. Compromise isn't about winning or losing. It's about creating something new together. Their relationship had weathered its first major storm, and they emerged stronger for it. I think we're ready for anything now, Chock said as they unpacked their bags. Joan smiled. Even tuxedos and flannel shirts.